So this week we're set to potentially get new reveals from PlayStation, Last of Us Part 3 and Naughty Dog's new IP are back in the news, and the 4K 90 FPS update. Those are the stories we're going to go over today, and if you could hit that like button on the video, thank you to those that do it, and as always, it's very much appreciated. First, yes or no, do you want The Last of Us Part 3 or not? We're going to be talking about the game in a second, but before then, do you want Naughty Dog to make a third game for the series next? So, comment below, yes or no, if you want The Last of Us Part 3 or not. Let me know down in the comments below. Now, diving into the first story of the video, Last of Us Part 3 and Naughty Dog's new IP. So this past weekend, we got an article from the LA Times. This article is focused on an interview with Neil Druckmann and his history at Naughty Dog. At one point in the interview, he mentioned that Naughty Dog won't be the Last of Us studio forever. Reading from Games Radar, in a new interview with the LA Times, the Naughty Dog president touches on the future of the studio. "I promise you, we will not be the Last of Us studio forever," Druckmann says, which is a slightly odd statement considering there have been 2 Last of Us titles and 5 Uncharted games from Naughty Dog over the years. Then again, the former series has been more prominent than the latter over the last decade or so. Additionally, the LA Times reported that numerous games are in the works right now at Naughty Dog, including multiple single-player projects. So Neil Druckmann mentions that they won't be the Last of Us studio forever, and there are multiple projects in the works. This pretty much is him kind of confirming that they have a new IP in the works, that they won't be the Last of Us studio forever, but based off his previous information, the studio is also probably working on the early days of making The Last of Us Part 3. Their new IP is looking like the next game that they're going to release from the studio, which I hope that's next year, because by then it'll have been 5 years since Naughty Dog launched the new game with The Last of Us Part 2 in 2020. The part about numerous projects is interesting, because do they have something in the works outside of their new IP and potentially The Last of Us Part 3? This is a cope on my end, but I hope it's Jak and Daxter related. Maybe they're making a comeback. I'm just coping on that one. I hope their other project, because he says numerous sounds like more than 2, so I'm hoping maybe a smaller project just on the side is, I don't know, a Jak and Daxter 1 remake, or, you know, the next Jak and Daxter, something Jak and Daxter related, like how Insomniac still makes, you know, new Ratchet and Clank games. I hope that's the case, but I'm probably coping right there. But that's the story so far. They have multiple projects in the works. They will not be the Last of Us studio forever, meaning they have a new IP in the works. And if you're enjoying the video so far, hit that subscribe button and join our growing community on our way to 150,000 subscribers. Now, diving into the second story of the video, the 4K 90 FPS update news. So recently we talked about the big FSR 3/frame generation update that launched for Immortals of Aveum. Frame generation is a tool that allows games to run at a higher frame count visually. So if you have a game that runs at 60 FPS, it could potentially be visually boosted to look like it's running at 120 FPS. The game is still actually running at 60 FPS, but it looks like 120, so you get that smoother image, that better, smoother image overall. Digital Foundry got to test this a bit with Immortals of Aveum last time we spoke on the topic, and they were impressed with the results. But over the weekend, they released a full test video for the tech and have showcased PlayStation 5 test cases this time around as well. They state that the images are targeting 4K reconstruction, so the game is being upscaled to 4K visuals. Alongside that, they showcased that the PlayStation 5 FPS counter jump between having frame generation on and off, and the jump is similar to what we saw for Xbox. The game normally runs at somewhere between 40 to 60 FPS, but now with frame generation on, it runs closer to 80 or 90 FPS. The impacts to latency as well aren't huge, and Digital Foundry states they didn't notice that much of a difference with frame generation on and off when it came to latency. For those who don't know, since frame generation creates frames within frames, this has a hit on latency, how it feels to play the game. Luckily here, latency is not impacted enough to be noticeable, which is great news. I didn't notice an impact either when I played Immortals last week on PlayStation 5 with frame generation on, 2021. This again is a great start for frame generation on console, and with more games potentially getting this feature, we should be seeing more games running above 60 FPS. But you guys let me know if you have a 120 Hz supported TV or not. Let me know down in the comments below. Now diving into the final story of the video, more PlayStation reveals this week. So we spoke about this last week, but this is just a reminder that later this week on Friday, Summer Games Fest will go live, and according to leaker Meteorai, Sony is set to have their own reveals there as well, PlayStation reveals. Sony is confirmed for Summer Games Fest already, but that could always just be an extra trailer for Concord or Astro or something like that. But considering the leaker states reveals, this could be the reported Lego Horizon game finally being shown off. Another leaker we didn't mention last week, Cases, stated that Lego Horizon was as ready to reveal as Astrobot for the state of play, but Sony seemingly has pulled it back. Tom Henderson believes it could show up at the PlayStation Showcase later this year, but Cases says that it doesn't make as much sense for Sony to wait all the way until the showcase, so let's see what happens Friday. Then beyond the Lego Horizon game, you have the Spider-Man 2 DLC, which according to leaks should be releasing this year, but we haven't heard anything on it officially unless you consider the dev menu update on Spider-Man 2 leaking the Beetle DLC official, if you consider that official, but we haven't gotten something official from Insomniac about the DLCs. But this is also potentially set to show up at Summer Games Fest as well, considering there are multiple DLC releases. Again, according to the leaks, you'd think they'd announce them now unless they plan to release the DLCs across late 2024 to mid 2025 and then lead that into the Venom game release in late 2025. Again, that's according to the leaks. Venom is going to release in late next year. I don't think they need to do that, but of course we're going to have to wait and see how this goes. Summer Games Fest is this Friday. You also have the Horizon remake. I could see that showing up at the PlayStation Showcase. Use the PS5 Pro to show off how good the remake looks and launch it day one with the console, maybe. Either way, I'm excited to see what Sony shows off at Summer Games Fest this Friday. But you guys let me know what you want to see from PlayStation this Friday. Let me know down in the comments below. And if you guys did enjoy this video, please hit that like button as it always helps, and subscribe if you're new. I got new videos every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. And now I'll check you guys out on the next one. And welcome back to the after show. This is the part of the video where we have a little fun down in the comments below. If you're old, welcome back. If you're new, welcome. For today's thing, what I want you guys to do is to body, obliterate, destroy, and overall harass the comment section with ready for the shows. We just had the state of play. We have Summer Games Fest coming this week, and then we have more shows from various other companies beyond that as well. If you're excited for the summer season of game reveals like I am, destroy the comment section with ready for the shows, and I'll definitely heart those comments like I always do, because I appreciate everybody who stays to the end of my videos. And now I'll check you guys out on the next one.